everyone. I got two bold looking sheep. They were sheared on Friday. That wasn't very nice, Parsley. The shearer emailed me a few days before and he said, you know, I'm in the area, I'm coming past your place, is there any chance you'll be in? So I said yes, come and get them done, because it saved me a headache worrying about flies with this weather. So he came and sheared them and now they're all done. Unfortunately, Mr. Mischief there, when he started his shears, he got so frightened. He wasn't actually in the pen with the sheep, but he got so frightened he tried to run through the sheep netting, got stuck, broke the fence. It's a good job I turned the fence off so that we could get the equipment across without anyone getting electrocuted. So we had to detangle him. Thankfully he's fine, but yeah, it's good that they're done now, because we had a lot of wet weather at the beginning of the week and it's quite cold, and now it's gone very hot very quickly, so there's quite a lot of water in the ditch, and that's just a real breeding ground for flies. And fly strike is something that you really don't want to have to deal with. It's one of the worst things I think to deal with as a sheep keeper. Bobble! Bobble! So yeah, they're all done, so it saves that headache now. Now their fleeces are off, I can see that Madam hasn't really come through the winter terribly well. She's a bit thin for my liking. She is getting on now, and they can struggle with their teeth on pasture, and the hay that we've got isn't terribly good, so I've put her on a supplement of alfalfa. The issue is trying to get it to her and not Parsley eat it all, because Parsley doesn't need to put on any weight. Parsley's an eating machine, and if anything I probably need to watch his weight. You can tell their condition when they've got the fleece on. What you do is you feel their backbone and you can feel the fat either side of the vertebra, and depending on how much of that is, how much the vertebra is sticking up, will determine the condition of the sheep. But obviously she's got such a thick fleece and she doesn't particularly like me rummaging in it, but I will sort of keep an eye on her and just try and get a bit of weight on her. Excuse me. You are just being horrible at the moment, aren't you? Because obviously they've got no cushioning, have they? So you know that you can really hurt them with your horns, which isn't very nice. And we have talked extensively, Merv, about karma, haven't we? Because the irony is, when we sort of detangled him, sorry, he's trying to get stuck, aren't you? When we detangled him from the fence, look, Merv, will you stop rubbing yourself on me, because you keep getting stuck in the camera strap. You get stuck in the camera strap. You've got to be right in my face all the time. When we detangled him from the fence, what did you do? You went running right up to Alphonse, didn't you, and said, oh, protect me, I'm scared. And sorry, he's stuck under my top. Alphonse, you're very horrible to him, aren't you? And he should have just left you. He should have just left you. He's stuck wearing a zip up sort of cotton top, and you keep getting your horn stuck under it. So yeah, I've got to keep an eye on him, because he's not really being particularly friendly with sheep at the moment, are you? He's old Mr. Tufty. This isn't a bad shearing job. Oh, this is a bad sheep job. Unfortunately, Mitten was felted, or cotted in sheep terms, right down to the skin. It's almost like his fleece had to be chewed off. It's completely useless. Well, actually it isn't completely useless. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use it around my beans and courgette plants. I'm sorry, I've got to go chewing my ponytail. Stop it, Merv! Merv, Oh, honestly, career in hairdressing doesn't await you. So yeah, I'm going to use his fleece. Apparently they're really good for keeping slugs off of vegetables, so that's where Mitten's fleece will be going. There's my Alphonse. Hopefully by the end of this month we can get him done. They can get hot, but he seems to be okay at the moment. I'm just sort of keeping an eye on him, but they seem to be less prone to fly strike, I think, alpacas, because he's a bit tidier. They don't get the messy bum that sheep can get. Look at you, you're like a barrel on legs, Parsley. He's just an eating machine. He's on the go 24/7. Bit like Star, really. Star was in a rug at the beginning of the week. I don't think she knows whether to molt or not. It was so cold and wet. I had to put a rug on her because she was really starting to feel the cold. I mean, she does if it just rains persistently. You know, I have to put a rug on her. It worries me a little bit with the temperature ricocheting about like it is, because it isn't really very good for them. Mind you, don't electrocute yourself on that fence, missus. There's just that elusive dandelion there you're trying to get, isn't it? There's actually a new horse down the bottom, so we had a little walk out the other day just to say hello. Well, he said hello to her. She's she likes to be a bit coy with other horses. She's never been any different as long as I've had her. You much prefer food to other horses, don't you? But we had a nice little walk out and she was able to sort of have a bit of an investigate of the ditch size, which she enjoys. I think it's actually our anniversary at the end of May. I think it might be 10 years that you've owned me, because I think I'm very much her little person, aren't I? You have to excuse, we've got a bit of tractor activity, some sugar beet drillings going on today, so hopefully they'll get some crops in this year, because spring seems very sort of off and on at the moment. I've got the fleeces bagged up at the moment. What I'm going to do is skirt them, which is sort of get rid of this, all the manky bits that you don't want. I'm not going to wash them before I spin them, because I think it's a waste of blooming water, to be honest, because you wash it again when you set your twist. And the other thing is, I cannot understand washing a fleece and taking all the lanolin out of it and then having to spray oil back on it to make it spin better. It just doesn't, it seems counterintuitive to me, to be fair. So I just spin them raw, then I'll take the lanolin out and dye them or do whatever I want once they're spun. But they're actually, the lambs, because it's a shearling fleece, they got really nice. I think this is parsley. It's got really nice sort of crimpy locks, so hopefully I might get some nice parsley socks for the winter. I've planted some herbs in pots down by the side of my studio. This is really to basically stop delivery drivers getting too close to it, because I'm not kidding, they go within inches, literally inches, and having lost the last one, I don't really want this one demolished by someone in a van. So I've got things like mint, some lavender, bit of thyme. I've got a bay on the end because I do like mint tea. I drink absolutely gallons of it, and I didn't actually realise that if you have flavoured mints, if you plant them near to each other and their roots touch, they all become like bog standard mint. So I'm going to put them in pots from now on, this nice apple mint that I've got, so I can just come out and pick a few leaves and make myself some lovely mint tea. Unfortunately, I've had a lot of issues with these two noodle doodles. The other week my neighbour actually saved them from being run over on the road. We live quite a considerable distance from the road, and they'd gone off chasing pigeons, and they can move so fast. They don't fly, they run. I mean, they can easily outrun me, and they'd sort of disappeared off, hadn't realised they'd gone, and next thing I got a phone call saying, I think your guinea fowl are down here. She actually stopped someone in a white van from running them over, so they're only allowed out now on supervised excursions, because I can't risk them causing an accident or getting killed. I've also seen them, you know, I had to retrieve them from the back of some houses near here, and literally if they fly over there they will get shot. So it's not an ideal situation really, and this is just them chasing pigeons. They honestly will go for miles. I thought they'd settled down over the winter and they weren't really going too far, but no, now spring's here, they've fully awakened. It's difficult because it means I can't get anything done when I let them out, because you really have to keep a eagle eye on them. They can be gone within sort of minutes and be miles away. You're just nuisances, aren't you? The hawthorn is a bit later coming out this year, so it's at least a couple of weeks later. I mean, I love the spring where everything gets all green and you hear the birds singing, and it's really nice. It feels a little bit bittersweet, I think, this year, because I do worry about the weather and the climate and everything like that. I feel really sad sometimes that we seem to be more obsessed with things than we are worried about people and our environment, and I think that's a real shame, but it seems to be the way of the world now. We did actually, after a recommendation from a friend of mine, get a Niger seed feeder. I'd never seen goldfinches here before, but we have them now. It didn't really take very long at all for them to find it, and I saw one on it the other lunchtime having a really good feed from it, so that's nice to know that they're about. So we'll keep on buying the seeds and filling up the feeders. But thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.